Back to That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.
And we're back from Times Square, That Kevin Show. So glad to have you with us. Congresswoman Nan Hayworth rejoins us. Why is it that we can't seem to get drug costs under control?
What a great question, Kevin. And, look, so much of it is because of government's very heavy presence in our healthcare, even more so, of course, with the passage of Obamacare in 2009, I guess it was. But in what I'm referring to in this particular piece is the cost of so-called specialty drugs and biologics. And the airwaves are full of advertisements for these very special molecules. They go by all kinds of fancy, memorable or not so memorable names. They're advertised for psoriasis, for arthritis, for inflammatory bowel disease. Very troubling and painful and important conditions that they can powerfully control. But the cost of these miraculous medications is unreasonably high in the United States. And that's due largely to the way our laws and regulations work today to advantage pharmaceutical companies that want to drag out particularly their patent process, so that they're the only ones who can sell some of these, sell a given biologic. And unfortunately, that enables them to keep prices artificially inflated, and that hurts consumers.
I'm sure that the price is also paying for all those fancy TV ads that we're seeing all over the place too.
No doubt.
And if you want to if you want to start a fight at my dinner table, just ask my lovely bride what she thinks about these drugs being advertised on TV. Now, I'm a little bit more Switzerland on this. Like, I'm not really pro or con, but she absolutely believes that it is almost an anathema to good health care to be advertising this drug and say it's going to solve this problem for you, then use half the time that you're on the air to say all of the things that you could die from because of it, and then say, but ask your doctor to get it for you. Like, that's kind of the model. Is that healthy for the consumer? Does that give the consumer the most informed view of what they need to be doing?
It's a great question, Kevin. I will tell you, I've been a patient, although I've never received a biologic. I've been a prescriber. Obviously, I'm a physician who practiced for many years, and I've also worked with industry as well. So I've actually worked on—
You've seen all sides of it.
Right. Not direct-to-consumer advertising per se, but certainly forms of representation and advertising to the profession. Here's where I've always come down on it. I have real problems with doctors who advertise themselves because there's no intercessor between them and the patients. They're making claims, the patients are going to them, there's no one to protect them. When pharma advertises, I mean, over-the-counters are a different thing, but over-the-counters are hard to hurt anybody with, thank God. But if pharma advertises and says, ask your doctor's there to protect you from bad decisions, we hope. So that's where I'm like Switzerland about it too, in that sense, Kevin. I don't have an objection to it. Does it add to the cost? Yes, no doubt it does. Although, is it the primary driver? No, the primary driver really is United States policy concerning biologics in particular, and the perverse incentives that play into what should be market forces. Ultimately, prices are driven down by competition, right? That's the healthy way to drive prices down, not to hold them down artificially, but to allow new entrants in the marketplace to come in more readily.
So in our final minute, what is Dr. Hayworth's prescription to solve it?
Definitely, we should call on our members of Congress and senators to change patent law so that concerning biologics, so that they can't stretch out, pharma can't stretch out their patents for 30 years, allow new entrants into the marketplace to get in more easily. We can do that by altering some of the ways the FDA deals with these things, and to work with patient advocacy groups to ensure that it's not incentivized to raise the prices of these biologics, because that makes the middlemen more money. It can be done. There needs to be public pressure. I think disease advocacy groups are especially important here, but every American is affected by this ultimately, and it's good to bring it to public attention. I thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Hayworth, Congresswoman from New York, come back and see us again sometime.
Ready or not, we'll be right back. That Kevin